Officer, current District Education Officer for District 1, Mr. Cyrus Cepal. We're discussing student and school safety in general. As over the past few weeks, we have seen an increase in attacks on students, big concern for teachers and other school officials as well. So we're discussing this issue in the main today, and our WhatsApp platform remains open for you to make a contribution. Also the Flow landline 4500 4500 we go up until 9 right here on Good Morning St. Lucia. My name is, of course, Shannon Lebon. Mr. Cyrus Cepal will join us shortly. A short while ago, we had the president of the National Principals Association, and later this morning, we will have an attorney at law, former advisor on crime and security as well. Mr. Cepal looks like he's all ready. It was always a pleasure to see his face. I know St. Lucia always enjoys the contributions of Cyrus Cepal, long-standing educator. Mr. Cepal, you ready, it looks like. Bonjour, thanks for waking up early, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you for coming on.
Wonderful.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Yes, sir. Let me thank you for having me on the program this morning, and also you had the president of NPA and so on. It is a pleasure for us to be with you because this is a very important subject that you are discussing, and then what better time to discuss it than early morning when everybody is still fresh, the mind is still going and still picking, and that's the time we can make very wise decisions.
Excellent. Thanks for setting up the conversation nicely there. Big concern for the principals and the teachers. I know parents are worried as well. A big priority for the Ministry of Education, I'm assuming at this time, is trying to find a solution to increase student and school safety generally.
Yes, this is a very grave concern for us at the Ministry of Education. What has happened is that, we have realized a breakdown in society, a breakdown in the morals, just a breakdown generally in respect for life, respect for property, and respect for others. This is the major concern, breakdown for the respect for others. So when you look at it and then you study the whole issue of crime on a whole, we have to get down to the actual issue, the root cause of the problem. So that is a grave concern for us at the Ministry of Education. Because at the time when I was acting chief, a number of issues came to our office with reference to that. And then now, the question we were asking, where did we go wrong as an education system? Because we are training the children, and then we keep saying that all the time, not just simply to give them the acquisition of knowledge, but then we're giving them now the acquisition of the skills, okay, and also of the morals, and then knowing what to do, how to do it, what will affect others, and so on. There is also, Mr. Lebon, a very important statement that I want to make. We all know what is called the golden rule, right? Which is said, do unto others as you would like them do unto you. However, what we have discovered is that there are persons now, when they do that sometimes that is what they would want done to them. Okay, the crime and everything. So that's why now there is a new theory called the platinum rule, and this is what we want to promote, the platinum rule, not just the golden rule, the platinum rule. The platinum rule says, do unto others as the person would like done to him or her. Not do unto others as you like them do to you, because you may feel that, okay, I'm going to slap this person, because for you it does not matter if somebody slaps you, because you're okay with that. So therefore, that is you doing to the person what you would want done to you. But no, we have to think and look differently, not just what you would want done to you, but the person that you're going to do the thing to. Is that okay with that person? Does the person feel comfortable with that happening to him or her? So we have to consider, as I said, the platinum rule now versus just the golden rule.
Yeah. Do unto others as that individual would like done to them.
Yes.
That is the platinum. I like it. Nice evolution over time. You are the district education officer for District 1, correct?
Yes, District 1.
What schools fall part of that district?
All right, we have schools from Dimpelet Primary going across to Babono, all the Babono schools, including Babono Secondary, going through to Grand Riviere, Corinth, up to Sports Academy, and all the Groseille schools, Moshi, and so forth. And we also, although they're not directly under us, but the private schools, we also make them part of our districts.
Excellent. You have a large population of students and teachers there. What are some of the examples you've seen? How big is the incidence of student attack and crime and violence permeating the schools within District 1?
Okay. In District 1, we have some elements of it, because especially with the secondary schools, we have had very unfortunate situations where, and I will not mention the schools, but then I will speak in general, but situations where we have had reports where, as recent as this school year, the police had to be called because you have groups of persons, and I don't want to say gang, groups of persons on the outside waiting for students that they have an issue with. And then now what you find now is that while they wait for that one person, then what they do now, they also attack other students. We have also a situation where you have probably students of the school, okay, who are members of that group, and then who make the arrangement to have them to come by the school around the time when school is about to be dismissed and so on. And then that's the time now that they do attack the innocent children who are just simply trying to make their way home. So it is not just a city problem, but then the other schools, yes, in District 1, we are also feeling the pinch of this problem.
Yeah, let's talk about the role of the Ministry of Education, and then we'll discuss the role of parents, because a lot of the criminals, they come for valuables. There are some who come to attack people who they have issues with, but they come in search of valuables that are more common now in school, perhaps, than what existed 20 years ago. So there's an interesting role for parents as well, what you give your children, how you prepare and sensitize your children for the classroom. But let's talk with the Ministry of Education. What's the proposal like to help stem these issues that we see in?
Okay. What we need to consider here also, and we have been considering, so is that you need to consider the root cause of the problem.
Okay.
Because as you said, some of them come because of valuables and so on. But then listen to what the research has said. There are students who get involved in violence and the gangs and so on because of different reasons. One, some of them because of financial reasons. That's just one reason. Two, you have some because of social problems. So they get into it. Three, you have those because of family issues. So they get into this group. Then you have four, some because of biological problems. So you see, so it's not a one-size-fits-all to deal with the crime issue, because the person who is into it, and it has nothing to do with financial problem, because I'm sure you know of a number of well, let us put it that way, very good homes, comfortable homes, parents can afford and so on. And unfortunately, the children gravitate to this group. Now, this is not a financial issue. This is either a social issue, a moral issue, or some other issue. And then we have to get down to the root cause of it. And then this is where now we are saying at the Ministry of Education, there are some of these children that instead of trying to give them 8, 9, 10 of the CXC subjects to do, and at the same time you are producing a better or a more advanced criminal, it is better you pull back some of these subjects, do a lot of the remedial work with them, a lot of the social work, a lot of the moral work, a lot of the spiritual work. And I'm not saying religion, I'm saying spiritual. All right. And that's some of the things we have to do. For example, CARE has a model, and it is working, where the first year of a student attending the CARE school, You do 1 year of the ADP, the Adolescent Development Program, a full year. It is not a part-time, one period a day, and so on. You do 1 full year of the ADP, Adolescent Development Program. So then we now at the ministry, we are looking into the development of the program where some of these children, where we see that they may, because listen to me, sir, we don't have to wait for when they leave school and when they reach into the gang. That's the time we're trying to curb the problem. It is too late. It is too late. Then with the Ministry of Education also, we are looking into establishing the suspension center, okay, or if you want to call it the intervention center, where the children who have been suspended, instead of sending them back, hear this now. I mean, sometimes we do certain things and then we don't realize we are the cause of the problem. A child has gotten involved in problem. You send the child out for 10 days. Where's the child going to? To whom? Not back in the same situation, not back in the same problem. And then that child comes back to school after the 10 days. And you expect that child to be better? No, it cannot happen. So then now we are going to establish now that intervention center where we are going to meet the emotional and psychosocial needs of that child. And then also now, you have heard the pronouncement where a number of TVET programs and TVET schools will be implemented, where some of these students who feel that the pure grammar style school is not for them, and then that is not meeting their immediate needs, or that program is not bridging the gap between living school and the labor force, then that program will help mitigate that. And these children now will feel that their needs are being met at school. So on a school level, these are some of the things that we want to do. And also now another major one now is to have a lot of parental programming, because some of the parents having a child and nurturing a child is very, very different. And what you find now, sir, is that some parents who might have 1, 2, 3 jobs to try to make ends meet, and the child may just be staying at home or with the grandparents, and then the grandparents may not have the time, the skill to really develop that young child, and that young child is left alone. And then now that's where they stay after school for a long while, not just at school, but then they stay with the group and other things. So it is indeed a comprehensive program that we have to undertake. And then we need the partnership of the groups in the communities, like the mothers and fathers group, the church groups, and all of these persons to come together so we can help these young people. Another one now would be the sports program. Okay, all sub-communities, not just major communities. We hear of the football competition, cricket competition, or basketball, whatever. But then we need to take it further, the sub-communities to have their own little tournaments. So instead of these children now, or these young people being involved in activities where they are troubling the young children, or they present a fear to other people, they will be meaningfully engaged. So it is an integration with society, with the different groups that we have, and also changing the program at the schools to help meet the needs of these young people.
Yeah, it's a holistic approach. 2 things from me. Applaudable, a step towards a suspension center.
Yes.
That's applaudable, not just for suspension, Mr. Cepal. It happens on a daily basis at some schools where, and we don't encourage students breaking rules at all, but a student would come to school perhaps with the wrong color socks, perhaps with the wrong color shoe, and that student is immediately turned away to no parenting at home. So a center like that is a step in the right direction. We don't want them losing class time. We don't want them breaking laws, but that center can also follow up to ensure it doesn't become a culture where students think I just do whatever I wish. So good step in that direction there.
Yes, just to come in there again. Yeah. So that's why I changed the name from suspension. I said intervention center. Because you have said it well. Whenever we see that the possibility of a child moving in a direction, we curb it right now. Okay, that child now will need to go through that intervention center before the child can be suspended.
Intervention center, excellent. And the second thing, Mr. Cepal, looking at the root causes, I think one big thing the study may have not seen was the new culture of the gangs. The gangs are actually advertising better than the after-school programs, and they're campaigning for new members daily. So that is a serious contributing factor as well. So it's good that you look into review the programs on offering at the schools, making them more sexy and appealing for students as well.
Definitely, because what we need to understand is that the gangs provide a need for the students. They feel that they belong. Listen, don't underestimate the value of the students feeling that they belong to the group. This is our group, and then the guys are protecting me. The sense of belongingness. That's the important factor there. A lot of them, and then now, if you create, if I mean, sorry for saying it that way, but then if the child is going to a church and then the young person is going to a church, you did something wrong, and the church is ready to get rid of you. Where's the church sending you? Or the family, the family feels that, listen, you are bringing down our name. Where do you think the person will go to? Because the family does not want the child. The church does not want the child. The person is part of a football team. The football team now is going to discipline you by putting you out. You have done something wrong. That's the time now the football team or whichever group, they need to keep you and try to work with you. But by they putting you out, they're creating an opportunity for the gangs to just simply accept you. And that's what we need to understand. So we have to make sure that we create the atmosphere where the young people feel that they belong. And not just belong, but it is meaningful to them. Let me give you one example quickly. When I was a principal at one of the secondary schools, all right? And this is what a young boy told me. He was part of a gang. And then there was a big fight after school involving weapons and so on. And then when I pulled the boy in and so on, you know what the boy told me? How he became part of that gang? And listen to this. This is very interesting. He was from a home of about 5 siblings and the mother. They had just one little home, a 1-bedroom home. When the boyfriend would reach home, hey, what I'm telling you, you know, that's a reality. Some of us who do not experience that reality do not know what I'm talking about. When the boyfriend would reach home, the mother would send all of them outside, go and play outside. And then now, every time that happens, he would be outside, and he was the oldest in the family. And you know what he told me? There was a day he just decided that he's going to take a walk down the road. Okay, so the boyfriend reached, the mother put them outside, go and play. And he said he just took a walk down the road. When he reached lower down the road, he met a group of boys there. And right then, from day one, when they asked him what is he doing and so on, they welcome him to the group. And because of that, every time he was put out, he's going to that group, and then he became part of that gang. Yeah. You see, so there are deeper issues. Sometimes we have to reach out to these boys. Sometimes it is not their fault. There are deeper issues that they need help. Some of them are crying for help, and then we are too busy in what we are doing and how we want to get it done that we forget these students who are crying for help. And as we mentioned earlier, why send a boy home because you don't have socks and so on? Is home they want to go. They want to go and get involved in the trouble and so on. So then that's why we need to create the opportunities to understand. Now, hear this, Mr. Lobon, hear this. We are not, listen to what the research says again. If we are trying to teach today's children yesterday's method, we are depriving them of their tomorrow. Did you hear that? Yes. Hear that again, hear that again. So when you hear sometimes we talk about, 20 years ago, things did not used to happen that way and so on. No. We are not teaching them or preparing them for 20 years ago. If you teach or train a child yesterday's method, you are depriving them of their tomorrow. So with all of these things, we need to understand, and for us to put into the education system. Only yesterday, we had our district vice principals and mathematics HOD workshop. And you know what I challenged the principals, the vice principals? I told them I expect them to be radical in their approach. Don't tell me a child is doing 9, 10 subjects and the child cannot do the core subjects, which is the mathematics and the English. So you have to be prepared to make sure that you create the change. You're radical in your approach. Do a revamp of the timetable. because your program is to meet the needs of the children, the needs of that child. And sometimes what we forget, Mr. Laban, is that you may say you have a class of 35 children or 30 children or 25. These two boys that are creating trouble, you minus them from the 25, you have 23 left. So for you, it's not a problem because, or you minus them from the 35, you still have 33 left. So you say, well, I still have my large group I'm working with. However, what we forget is that these two boys, they may just be two individual persons at their home. So that home, that is just their one child. And that parent may be going through so much to try to save that one child, that they are seeking for help to save that one child. But you seeing it that this is one out of the 35, so therefore it's not much problem for me to get rid of that one. But that one is going to a home where that is the only child. That's just the one the parent has. So that's why I'm telling you now, we have to make a greater effort from a societal level, from a school level, from a church level. And I'm calling on the churches and so on. That is not time for you to say that, listen, I'm disfellowshipping people or I'm getting rid of members because they are creating trouble and so on. No, that's why we have to embrace them. That's why we have to make them feel loved. That's why we have to give them that opportunity to understand that there is more to life than just the immediate.
Yeah, honest and frank insight. I thank you for that wholeheartedly. Definitely, we need to shift the ball game, and we need to stay abreast to the current needs of the students now. Everybody has a role to play. How can parents come in and start to make some change? We know they have some of their own issues, but it is thought that perhaps parents need to take greater responsibility for the actions of their students and their children from early.
Yes, what you're saying there is very important. And let me run something by you. Another research that was done. It says that parents, in parenting, hear me well, in parenting, and parents, listen to me well, and you need to understand that. Between the age of 0 to 9, you are a teacher to the child. Hear me well. And if in the process, Mr. Lebon, you miss out that process, then you have missed out a lot. So 0 to 9, you are a teacher, the traditional teacher. This is where you instruct the child, you teach the child, you train the child, you give the child everything. Now, from age 10 to 14, here it is 10 to 14, you are a coach. That's what you are. You are a coach. And here what a coach is doing. The coach is teaching and showing how it is done. So you're telling the child, let me show you how it is done. Follow me closely. That is from 10 to 14. That's what you're teaching the child. So you're showing the child the examples and everything because they're watching you. So you're the coach. Then from 15 to 19, you are a facilitator. Hear me well, you're a facilitator. So you cannot be a teacher 0 to 9. That's where you were supposed to be giving all the instructions, all the rules, do as I say and everything and so on. Age 14 to 19, you cannot do that. You're a facilitator. You're presenting all the morals, all the good things and so on. And then you're facilitating the development with the child from age 15 to 18. Then now, hear this now. From 18, 19 upwards, you know what you are? A cheerleader. You are a cheerleader. So you are in the stands now and you are cheering the child because you have done all the things you were supposed to do. So 0 to 9, you were the teacher. You have done all the teaching, all the instructions and so on. So you have done that well. So now that you have done that well, from 10 to 14, you are the coach. You're teaching them, showing them the skills and leading by example. You have done that well. Then now from age 15 to 19, you are the facilitator. You're facilitating all what you have done in the lower stages and so on. And now all these things have been done well. At 18, 19, you cannot now try to teach. It's too late. You are now the cheerleader, parents, teachers. That's what you are, the cheerleader. You stay in the stands. The child now is in the game. The child that is playing the game. And you are there now to either applaud and say, well done, or then you are now putting your heads down in shame. So this is the process of parenting that we need to understand, and then we have to seriously consider these processes. And in case you may have missed one, and then the child is not 18, 19 yet, and it's not too late, try to see how you can redo and then get them on the right track. But then I want you to remember these four processes that I have told you. So that's why now we have all of these issues with some of these students, because that process was not followed. So then instead of being a cheerleader, we are in the stands with our heads bowed down, because what the game they are playing is not the right game.
Yeah. So let's just go through it again. 0 to 9, you're a teacher.
You're a teacher, the traditional teacher, where they sit in class and you instruct, you give all the information and everything and so on.
Right. And from 10 to 14, you move on. It's a different role there.
A different role. You are a coach.
You are a coach.
You are a coach. You have to motivate them. You have to inspire them. You have to do everything, and then you're also teaching them. You're not just telling them to do it. You are showing them how to do it. That's what you are, a coach. And you're not giving up on them. A coach. Listen. That age is so critical, because a coach now, even though you see the person cannot throw the ball, you'll never tell a person they cannot throw the ball. All you keep telling them, listen, you will get there. You will reach there. Keep doing it, and you keep coaching them until they get there. So 10 to 14, you are the coach. Then 15 to
19.
Yeah, 15 to 18. Okay, you are the facilitator. The facilitator. You cannot come and say at this time, because that's why now a lot of parents are having difficulties with the children at that age. They're still trying to treat them as if they're 3-4 years. No, that's the 21st century, man. You are the facilitator. And then now, from 18 up, just be prepared to be the cheerleader.
Yeah. Or if you haven't followed the steps, you bow your head. You bow your head in shame. Just hold on for me, Mr. Cepal. Let me share a contribution from one of our viewers who says, "Good morning. With regards to the topic, honestly, suspension doesn't work. Sometimes it isn't even your fault, as kids coming from a poor background. Some teachers make you a target. Instead of uplifting you, they tear you down every chance they get. Some teachers. I remember they gave me in school suspension, and it worked. It was horrible, but I was kept in a room doing assignments, even had to take lunch and break in the room. Schools also need to start paying attention, especially when it comes to subject choices. They ask you to choose, but then give you what they want and expect you to stay in class." So similar to what you're saying, the schools need to cater to the needs of the students.
Yes, you have a number of that's very unfortunate. I mean, in the past, I don't think now it is really happening, because we have teachers who are dedicated, teachers who understand that they are not teaching a curriculum, they are not teaching a subject, but they are teaching a child. Very different, Mr. LeBon. We are not. You come with your set out lesson plan and so on. The principal has given you the A+ for that lesson plan. That's not important. Okay, let me put it that way. Yes, that's important, but that's not the main goal. The main goal now is to teach the child. That's why this month we are celebrating mathematics. There is a concept, and one of the research again said in mathematics, it is mathematics teaching versus mathematics learning. And then that's where the issue is. So the researcher is saying very often why we are not seeing results in mathematics is because we are more concerned about mathematics teaching, whereas we should be concerned about mathematics learning. So if the child will learn the averages on the field of play, a cricket match, bring them out, let them play a cricket match, and then after that you do the averages with that same cricket match they have played. So learning is more important. So when a child comes and then the child may have had some serious issues, just imagine that, Mr. LeBon, the night there was a breakdown in the family, a fight between the mother and the stepfather, or whoever the person is, and so on, a fight. The child could not sleep. Focus with me, The child could not sleep the night because of all these issues that are happening at home and so on. Then the child would reach school, probably, as you said, maybe not the right pair of socks, or probably because of what had happened the night. Somebody tells the child the boy something, and the boy maybe just slap the child and so on. And right away you call the person to the office, did not try to find out, but what caused that and what issues are you having and so on. As soon as the person reached the office, oh, you again, boy, a 5-day suspension. But what is it that the child is going through? Okay, so these are some of the things that we have to do, as I said, to save our children. And then now, the bigger issue of the societal problem, where you have, as you said, the number of young people who just simply line up the streets or wherever, and then they are pestering our students who leave school. We now, as a society, have to look into how we address this problem. We can address it, but if everybody, you simply say, well, I live in my gated home, I'm safe. My child will board my vehicle. I drop my child to school, come back to the school, take my child, come back home, and then we have our close back my gate and so on. And you feel that whatever is happening there, I'm not part of it. Listen, no, you are wrong.
You're very wrong.
All of us must see what we can do to help curb that problem.
Or else it will reach our doorstep one day.
It will.
One day. You think, Mr. Cepal, the school is properly trained, equipped to address some of these deviant behaviors seen from students? You think the teachers, that is, or is there need for retooling and investment in more counselors to do that sort of work?
You have hit the nail on the head. Take, for example, District 1. We have 12 schools. Okay, we have 3 secondary schools. They all have their counselors. That's fine. Yeah. But the primary schools, and remember, you have to nip it at the bud.
Yes.
In the primary schools, we have only 1 counselor for all the primary schools. Dimpolet alone, Dimpolet has 900 children. By the time that the counselor goes to Dimpolet, how can she go to visit the other schools and so forth? So we definitely need some more counselors. We need some social workers to work together with the counselors, because you need to understand the whole process. And then now we need to have in place the structures at the school. And as I said, we need, when what you have at the school and the counselors may not be working, you need the next level. So you know now that we can recommend that child to that next level, and then that process can take place. A very good model is the Edna Nichols Center in Barbados. Edna Nichols Center. Okay, that center is one where the children go there for a 2-week process, or 2 weeks to a month. Okay, and then they follow that program, which has all the different components: the psychosocial, the moral, the spiritual, the community service. And then while they're there, they do the mathematics and English. And then they go through that program. And then after that, then they go back to their school. If they find themselves in trouble again, they can do that program for 3 times. They can repeat that program. And then after 3 times, then the child is still having problem. Then there is a higher level that the child will be recommended to. So, you know, we have certain models that are working, and then we as a nation can see which ones will work well for us. So that's why I'm very happy that we have a team from the Ministry of Education that will be going to Jamaica to do a study in terms of the structure, the programs that are being followed in Jamaica. And then when we return now, we have to see to what extent we can tweak. So Ministry of Education, yes, they're coming through in terms of creating the change, making the difference to see that some of these problems, we address it. And this is a major component in terms of the study tour to Jamaica, where the ministry officials will be going there to see how we can review our structure in St. Lucia to meet the needs of these children.
Yeah, let me book from very early our interests when you get over there to do some sort of update with you, and when you get back to learn from some of the lessons as well, because it's a very important mission, very important indeed.
Yes, and you will get as I said, the top officials who will be happy to come to you also to share that with you.
There's not many topper than yourself, but I just slide that in the back.
Okay, we have school supervision. There is at the ministry what you call school supervision and the policy side.
Okay.
So the policy side now would be the ones, because when we decide to think of changing programs and these things and so on, now you need to first hear from the policy people before you can hear from the school supervision. So after the policy would have made the pronouncement, then now at school supervision now can elaborate on it.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's go to the meat of the issue again. what we see now happening, the trend of students being attacked. And the reality is a lot of the schools, well, not in District 1 per se, but let's come to the city of Castries, which you're pretty much familiar with. A lot of our schools are near hotspot areas. Is it time now for some sort of discussion across the board at all schools to come up with a procedure, protocol? How should teachers, school officials, and students react in the event there is an assault, in the event there is a threat at an institution?
Yes, we definitely would have to do that. And then I want to also take it a little further. That has to be discussed at the home level, community level, church level, all right? Because very often sometimes you do it at the school, and by the time you go back to the home or to the community or wherever to your different sporting group, it is not being promoted again. So that's why you find out the 21st century again now, we have to understand the evolution of life, the evolution of society, the evolution of the morals and the norms and so on. These things are constantly changing. And then with the change now, we have to, as you said, prepare the children for that. So somebody will say, 20 years ago, if they had heard a gunshot or they see somebody with a knife, they will run away from it. But in this 21st century, where they are more daring, this is what you need to understand. You have to understand the characteristics of the 21st century people for you to know how to deal with it. So it is something normal in them, whereas for you and for myself, we will run away from the danger. This 21st century generation, they are wired in a way that they run towards the danger. Yeah. So that's where now the program now must be different from just simply telling them, please, if you see somebody or there is somebody who has a gun or there will be a fight, go turn away. No, that does not work for them. You have to get to the core of it to make them understand and see all the dangers, and then make them even practice, have some practice drills with them and so on, to get them to understand the value of they not just simply affecting themselves, but they're affecting others, they're affecting their parents, they're affecting society, they're affecting the school that they represent and so on. So all of these must be treated as one, so we can actually meet, as I said, the 21st century generation that have been wired in a very different way from the past generations. So then the entire structure of the teachings that we do must be different, not just simply at the school level, but in the way we decide that we're going to have them maybe go through the instructions or through the training, whether it be at the sports clubs, whether it be in the uniform clubs, and all of these things. It has to be different and then meet their needs.
Don't you think also that the actions of the students is a broader reflection of societal decay? They're practicing what they're seeing within the society and within the larger community, is it?
To some extent, yes. But hear what I'm telling you. The child has not developed the ability to see the danger. So the morality now that's another concept that we have to bring in. Okay, morality. This 21st century generation, they're going through the teaching where it says that morality is relative. So you will tell them, okay, this is wrong, but then now they will tell you, but then who says that this is wrong? On what basis you are saying that this is wrong? How are you saying that this is wrong? To what extent are you saying that it is wrong? All of these questions we have to be prepared to answer. So yes, society, we have a decay in the morality, okay? And then the children now seeing that, and as I said, they have been wired and networked to operate in that manner. So then we now, who are the older ones, have to make a greater effort not to create, not to create the opportunity, the atmosphere, the avenue to trap them, because they now are more susceptible to be trapped in this. So whereas before, as I said, you have been taught at home, well trained at home, and then by the time you see an issue, you see the problems, you will run away from it. But this generation will not.
Different. Let's take an example. I don't want to butt in too much.
Yes.
25 years ago, perhaps, when you went to school, you saw a firearm, you would leave the zone immediately.
Immediately.
Now, 21st century generation students see firearms as toys, perhaps.
Yeah, because of the change again, the evolution that has taken place with society. All right. So now with the other component of this 21st century generation, where they are more inquisitive, they want to find out. They're more in the process of discovery. Hear this now, more in the process of discovery. Whereas our generation, or a little after me, all right, probably you're in the middle generation there. It used to be do as I say, and then the information was given to you, then you accept the information. But this 21st generation, they do not accept information. They want to prove the information that you have given them. They want to discover for themselves. They want to see. So by the time you tell them, well, if you waste time in Castries, then there is a possibility that the gangs will be formed and so on. No, for them, they have to experience it to understand it.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm saying now the level of teaching, the opportunities being presented to them must be different and must be in a very strategic manner based on the needs of the individual children.
Definitely. We have to wind down quickly. I could spend another half hour to an hour with you, Mr. Cepal. Always very, very, very insightful. To deal with the current issues now, we appreciate that it's a holistic approach that is needed. Finally, from you, what do you think we start now? If we like to see some immediate results, perhaps the results aren't immediate, but going into the festive season, if we want to keep students safe, teachers are afraid now more than ever. Where do we start? Your final recommendation.
Okay. First of all, we need to change the program that we offer at the school. You see, the one-size-fits-all program, it does not work. It does not work. We have to do that. Then number two, we need to implement a more person-related, I'm using that term, program. For example, remember I mentioned earlier about the care program where they have an entire year of the ADP program.
Yeah.
So there are certain times we have to implement either that program or component of that program. The children now, there has to be now a structured after-school program where we invite, whether it is the church, whether it's the community groups, whether it is a sports group and so on, where the children, again, they have to feel that what the program is giving, it is meaningful to them. That's what is important. It has to be meaningful to them, and they must feel the sense of belongingness in that program. That has to be done. Then on a wider scale, the society, parents now, yes, we are saying that we want parents to do a lot more and so on. But then there are some parents who are craving for help. They need the help. Yes. So on a community level, we have to organize a lot more parental program, how to nurture your program and so on. And we need also now to go to start to reinstitute the idea of everybody in the community. We are family and we are members of everybody's family. So we look after each other. So I cannot be home early, but then you are home early. So we make the arrangement. You see, by 4 o'clock, my child is supposed to be at home. Check on my child for me. And these kinds of things. So we look into each other. The church also can come in to see how we can help the society, because you are a church in the community. What is your input? What is your involvement? Not just your church members, but I'm talking about the community members. How do you get involved? Then the sporting group can play a big role in, as I said, not just simply having the 11 that you want to represent you at a competition, but we need to develop a program to try to get all the other young people who may not be representing the 11, but the part of the program, a sports program, because remember, it is sports for health, sports for life, and not just sports for competition. So I want you to hear that again. Sports for health, sports for life, and not just sports for competition. So you see, there are a number of things that we as a community, not just the school, not just the parent, but then as a community, we can come together to help mitigate the problem. And then now, let us not just simply organize events. So, for example, you know the issues that we had going on at Beaufort, and we have a number of churches that went there and had a march, a parade, and so forth. Now, I'm asking the question: what is the program after that? What have we
Next?
done
Yeah.
after that parade, after that march, and so on? How have we gone into the society, into the communities, and so on? What programs and activities have we initiated to continue with these communities? So very often we host an event and we do not follow up with a program. So my whole focus is now, let us organize a strategic program so that we can help curb that crime and violence problem in society.
Excellent, excellent recommendation. Development of a strategic program. Mr. Cepal, I want to thank you so very much for coming on board this morning. I am optimistic that this conversation is a start in changing our mindset and changing our approach to addressing these issues of deviant behavior, which we see more and more impacting the school system and our students in particular. Thanks so much for your contribution.
Yes, so thank you very much. And as you mentioned, mindset, our motto for District 1 is changing mindsets, working smart to ensure all learners succeed.
Changing
so thank you very much again. And then I hope that as a community, we all will come together, whether it is church, sports group, community group, whatever it is. Let us work to save our young people.
Always a frank and honest contributor on matters of national importance, Mr. Cyrus Cepal, former acting Chief Education Officer, current District Education Officer for District 1. Thank you so much, Mr. Cepal, for coming on this morning.
Most welcome, sir. God bless.
My next guest, an attorney at law, former advisor on crime and security. He is already standing by as we wind down this morning's program. But before we go to break, Donnie, let's share with our viewers a memo which is trending within the education space, a memo to teachers trending. We have it available, Donnie? Yes, we do. So we put it on as soon as we do. We want to alert parents. We want to alert teachers and school officials of this threat. It's a real threat now. So a memo which went out to principals within the Castries Basin in particular, but it's not just Castries which has this risk right now. Good evening, principals. This afternoon at about 5 p.m., St. Mary's College boy who went to meet his sister at the Ave Maria Primary opposite the entrance was apprehended by another boy, young man, who asked him the time. The boy, the SMC student, took out his phone to get the time. The individual grabbed his phone, the boy ran after him, the individual stabbed him several times. Principals, please tell your students to be careful, streetwise, and frankly, not trust anyone, and advise their parents to get their children out of town the fastest after school, because town, Castries, is not safe. Just hold that there for me, Donley, for a while. 2022 St. Lucia, this is the real threat that our students and teachers are faced with. So we can build box park after box park, 6.2 million or whatever. If we cannot concentrate our efforts in addressing these real threats, we are failing and we are losing our next generation. So again, a memo issued to principals of schools in Castries. Good evening, principals. This afternoon at about 5 p.m., a St. Mary's College student, boy, went to meet his sister at the Ave Maria Primary opposite the entrance, was approached by another boy who asked him the time. The boy took out his phone, that's the SMC student, took out his phone to get the time. The individual grabbed his phone, the boy ran after him, the individual stabbed him several times. Could Good morning, St. Lucia can confirm that the SMC student was stabbed 6 times. Could have lost his life. Principals, the memo continues. Please tell your students to be careful, streetwise, and frankly not to trust anyone, and advise their parents to get their children out of town at the fastest after school, because town Castries is not safe. Advise your teachers to be careful as well. That's the current day reality. You can take it now, Dan. Take it now, down now, Dan. Thanks for that. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna continue to play like these issues don't happen, or we're going to react and respond in a holistic and sustained, strong manner. The future of St. Lucia is at stake. The lives of our children are at stake. What are we going to do? You can sit in a box park and do nothing, but history will tell that when the issues which impact the people most came to bear, we were in a box park. I hope that's not what history will say, but we must, if we are really serious about this current generation and the future of St. Lucia, begin to deal with these issues now. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, my next guest already standing by. He is an attorney and a former advisor on crime and security. He'll join me next right here on Good Morning St. Lucia. We say good morning to you wherever you are. Thank you for making us your choice. We know you could be wherever and share your time in other ways now, but you choose to be here with us, and we really appreciate you. Stay with us. We go up until 9. My name is Shannon Bon, and this is A Vibe at Sunrise, your morning cup of tea.